video, we're going to be adding on to the Kajabi homepage we created in the last video by adding a lead magnet opt-in. So if you're working on list building, which you should have a lead magnet going. Briefly, a lead magnet is something free and valuable, usually in the form of a PDF that people can sign up for, and it's a way for you to get them on your email list. So they see maybe on social media or on an ad that you're offering something free and useful. They give you their name and email address. You send it to them, and then they're entered into an email nurture sequence. In this nurture sequence, you're going to introduce them to who you are and what your business is all about, and some other ways that you think that you can help them. So in this video today, I'm going to show you how to create a lead magnet opt-in page, how to set up the lead magnet delivery and get them entered into that nurture sequence. And we're also going to add a button to your homepage so people can easily opt in to get that lead magnet. The previous videos in this series, we covered setting up your site details in Kajabi and creating a really basic homepage. So in this video, we're going to be adding on to that homepage. If you haven't watched those videos yet, this one's not really going to make much sense. So there are links below that you can go back and watch those if you haven't yet. In future videos in this series, we're going to continue building on to this homepage and adding more pages to your website. So by the end, you're going to have a complete website built. So let's get started.
So this is what the homepage looks like now. We created this in the last video. We've got that Let's Get Started button that connects to a contact form. So does that Contact Me button. We're going to update this now. So instead of Let's Get Started, it's going to connect to your lead magnet. So the first thing we need to do is set up an opt-in page for your lead magnet. And you're going to go to Website, Pages. We're going to clone your home page. This is just going to make it easier to then update the way that you want it. And the first thing I'm going to do is rename it because otherwise I'm going to get confused. So I'm going to go to Landing Pages, go to Edit Details, and change the title. You want to include the title of your lead magnet. Don't say like lead magnet or freebie or something because people will see that when they land on this page. So my lead magnet is called 5 Action Steps. That's what I'm going to include in the title and the URL. So now we're going to customize our page. And because we cloned it under settings, like our style guide, our colors and fonts and everything are the same as that home page. So you don't have to update any of that now. We're going to go into sections. And you have the mission statement and about section. We're going to add a form and text section. And this is where people are going to actually opt in. And Kajabi will preview it for you until you click that blue add button. So now it's actually on your page. It comes with a text and form block. Within the text block, that's where we're going to talk about the content of your lead magnet. I'm going to make it full screen. You're going to include the name of it, which this name is not very good, but I'm not a coach and I'm kind of pretending to be, so just you can ignore the copy there. You want to include how your lead magnet can help somebody and some concrete points about it. You can say, 5 action steps, 10 pages, whatever it is, something really concrete that will tell them exactly what they're going to get by downloading this thing. So that's our text block. And then we have that form block. which we don't have a form set up yet for this. So you can go to edit your forms. And this is kind of like creating the contact form that we did last time. You'll go to new form. And I'm going to include in the title the name of the lead magnet. So again, you have to choose whether you want a double opt-in or not. You can choose to let people say, like, yes, they actually want this thing and want to be on your list. After submission, you can choose to send yourself a notification. I like to get that. The form fields, you only need name and email, so we're just going to leave those. Now, under automations, you will need to add an automation because this is how the lead magnet itself actually gets delivered to people. So if you click Add Automation, the when fields are pre-populated. The then field is going to be subscribed to an email sequence. There is an option under here to send an email. That's just going to send them one email with your lead magnet. And the whole point is that you're going to be creating a nurture sequence to get people engaged and happy to be on your list. So we're going to set up an email sequence right now. I'm opening up email campaigns in a new tab. Go to new email campaign. It's an email sequence. And you see right there, it's triggered by an automation, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to include the name of the lead magnet and just the term nurture sequence. The first email is going to go on day 0. That means that it'll go out immediately after somebody submits that form. And in this email, you're just delivering the lead magnet. So you can type in here. You can use those personalized fields to enter their first name. Here's the workbook you requested. And then we're going to attach a file. And this is assuming that your lead magnet is in the form of a PDF. So we're going to attach it here. And Kajabi converts it to a link. And then you can change that text if you want it to say something other than download now. And then I like to change that to new window so that it opens up in a new window. It won't take them out of their email. And then you'll add a little bit more to this email and save. Now for a nurture sequence, I would recommend at least 5 emails. We're going to add one more right now that can go out on day 2, kind of following up with them. How's that workbook going? We're not going to get into what all should be included in a nurture sequence at this point, but I'm just showing you where you would create it in Kajabi. So now we've got the beginning of our sequence going, and we want to add a subscribe trigger. So our subscribe trigger is going to be, now in this case, the then fields are populated. So we have to select when form is submitted and that 5 action steps opt-in form that we just created, and click save. So now our email sequence and the subscribe trigger are set up. We're going to go back into the form and refresh. Now under automations, when that form is submitted, they're subscribed to that email sequence because we set that up within the email campaign. So we're going to save that. So we've got the email sequence, we've got the form, we're working on the opt-in page. So here under form, you can select that form that we just created. And you'll want to update the text here to something that makes more sense. Because we have that text block on the left explaining more of the details about the lead magnet, you don't really have to put much in there. And I like those submit buttons to be smaller, so you can change that to auto. So we'll save that. And now the background of this section is kind of boring. So I'm going to go down to background and I'm going to select an image to put behind it. Now you'll see that that background image appears, but we have to go to background, media type, and select image, and go down to background color because we're still not seeing it. Open up that color wheel, and you can move the bar up so that you can actually see the image. So it might look kind of weird with that form right in front of the woman. So you can just drag that form over so that it's on the left. And if you want to add some color behind the text block so that it's easier to read, you can do that. So one thing to keep in mind, your entire page is 12 columns wide. So right now your text block is 6 columns and your form block is 6 columns. If you wanted to make the form block smaller, you could. You could take away one of the columns and add one to the text block. So now they're 5 and 7. But if you go up to 8, then it's going to bump them down to different rows. So just keep in mind, you can only have 12 columns across, so your numbers will have to add up. So now I'm going to rename this section so I know what it is. It's the opt-in section. And then these other sections, I don't even need anymore, so I'm going to delete those. Okay, so now we have our opt-in page all set. We can preview it. This is what it's going to look like. They enter their name and email address, and then they're added to that email sequence. They'll get the workbook immediately and then continue to receive emails. So now we have to connect that to our home page. So we're going to open up our home page, customize. Now we want that button at the top that was contact form to go to the lead magnet. So I'm going to update the text so it says download the workbook, and then the button action, instead of that 2-step opt-in, it's going to go to a landing page, and you're going to select that 5 action steps opt-in landing page that we created. And I also want to include something in that top text section, just saying like, I have a lead magnet, here's what it can do for you, please download it. I'm going to make this full screen. Of course, I made this text white so you can't see it, but while I'm editing it, I'm going to change it to gray and then paste in. I already composed a little bit of text about the lead magnet. Now I'll change it back to white and get away from the full screen, save. So now it includes a little bit about what the lead magnet is and why you should download it. So we're going to refresh the homepage now. Now things are kind of coming together. They can still contact you directly, but they also have this other option. They can download the workbook. And you know what? This is actually a pet peeve of mine. I want that page to open in a new tab. So we're going to check that box, save, and then refresh the home page. Now when we click download the workbook, okay. So now they can have your home page and this opt-in page both open at the same time. So now there's a little bit more to your homepage, and we're going to continue building it out as we go through this video series.